Pluralism is when we all meet right in the middle and we engage with one another. And this is what Muhammad did. And the example that I love to use links back to the year 630. So 2 years before Prophet Muhammad passed away. And the story, as many of you may be familiar with, revolves around a group called the Christians of Najran. But now we're in the year 630. Muhammad is emerging as a global leader. He's announcing himself to the various relevant political players around the Arabian Peninsula. And he writes a letter to the bishop of the leader of the Christians of Najran. So we have a delegation, depending on what type of Islamic sources you're looking at, maybe about 80 people from the Christians of Najran. Let's refer to it as a diplomatic mission. Scholars, bishops, and other learned people. And they go to Najran. They go to Medina, for 3 days. So the fact that it went for 3 days, this diplomatic event, is a good sign, because it could have easily ended on the first day. But it went for 3 days. And on the third day, the sources tell us that the Christians of Najran had informed Muhammad and the early Muslim leaders that they needed to pray. And they said, Muhammad, we are going to leave the masjid. They were in the Prophet's mosque in Medina. And Muhammad stops them essentially in their track and said, why would you go outside when you're already in a house of God? Please use this space to pray. Okay, so that's not tolerance. That's something more than tolerance. And it explicitly says that Jews, pagans, Muslims are entitled to freedom of worship, freedom of religion, the right to assembly, the right to live in peace, the right for religious communities to dictate how they want to live without government interference. So this is a multicultural, multiracial, multi-religious state in 622. And I always love to tell audiences, or let's say remind audiences, that this idea that the West is somehow having a monopoly over things like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assembly. But Muhammad did it in 622.